Every day, messages are sent and received by letters, phone calls, and now emails. But messages of divinity are sent to us as well. The question is, how are such messages delivered and received? I'm your host, Carolyn Morrison, and you're watching Mysteries of the Church. Join me as we explore Marian apparitions, where the Virgin Mary herself is said to have personally delivered messages to people by appearing before them. We'll hear the accounts of the 3 children who received the secrets of Fatima. Then we're exploring the controversial tales of Medjugorje, as well as Our Lady of Guadalupe, and the mysterious lasting image she left behind, still visible to this day. Finally, we'll review the miracles performed by the flowing waters at Our Lady of Lourdes. On the night known as the Annunciation, the Virgin Mary received a message from one of God's angels. The message was that she would conceive, carry, and deliver God's only child without sin. That child would be the world's Savior, Jesus Christ.
Now, millions of people across the globe and for centuries have cried out and prayed to this Blessed Mother. She even has her own prayer, the Hail Mary, which is recited every day by so many. In return, many have received a blessing.
Well, an apparition is a divine intervention into human consciousness. That sounds very lofty, but essentially it means that God breaks in from time to time.
A Marian apparition really is an event in which the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared to one or more persons, regardless of their religious faith.
Marian apparitions number in the hundreds. There was a time in the Church's history from at least the first 1,000 years or so where Marian apparitions happened very few and far between, although we have some pretty good records of individuals who actually witnessed these visions.
There have been 295 Marian apparitions investigated by the Vatican. However, out of the 295 apparitions, only 12 have ever been totally approved.
Whether a Marian apparition is authentic or not is the person who actually witnesses the vision. These are people, no matter how simple they might be in their own educational background, they're the ones who are on the ground right there. And so it's up to them with their own individual thoughts to try and determine what they're seeing. However, that's not enough to determine whether or not something is actually authentic.
If a Marian apparition takes place, the diocesan bishop would investigate that. So a local bishop investigates, and normally you'd have a number of his theologians investigate that. Perhaps the diocesan censor of books, perhaps some of the professors in the seminary, something along those lines.
The bishop tries to make a determination on whether or not something can be believed as true, whether that phenomena, whatever it is false, or if it's somewhere in between. That is to say, do we have enough information to make a determination one way or the other?
The next step would be that the bishops' conference, a whole country's region, would get together to investigate. For instance, in the United States, it's the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. And then finally, the Vatican, the Apostolic See, would look into the requests if the bishop himself in the area where it takes place, or even if the local faithful, if the local lay people, the faithful people, have really requested, and there seem to be a valid reason. There's steps in going through it ultimately.
My sense is that sometimes when Mary appears to people who are undereducated or poor or young, it is a kind of signal that divine contact with human being doesn't necessarily have to be with academics or people of a wealthier class or something like that. My sense is that Mary speaks to whomever she wishes.
She has even shown herself to children and the elderly. In most cases, Mary has appeared more than once in the same place over a period of time. Not every person can see her, only those at her discretion.
Though a message from the Blessed Mother herself may be a gift, not all her messages are comforting. When we return, the 3 secrets of Fatima will be revealed, and we'll hear what the Church has to say about the frightful visions received by the Portuguese children. We'll uncover these apparition mysteries of the Church right here after this.